Cut this shit. Everybody get up. Everybody get up.
No, let's bring that music down here. Bring it down. Hello, welcome to the Pubcast. This is day after Cinco de Mayo, and we are here with you live, hanging out and talking about what's going on. I've got with me my bunny rabbit. His name is Axel. He and his sister live in this room that I use to used to be my home office, and now I use it for my home office. And during lockdown, just a way to get away, or a space away from the office to hang out. Hello, Daniel Saldivar from San Antonio, Alamo City. How you doing? So this little bunny, I just feel like he's been really depressed the last few days because I kind of moved in and took away his little hidey hole, because he used to hide right under the desk in his little hidey hole, and now he's like, I don't know what my life consists of anymore. Hopefully the connection stays strong here. and getting little flashing warnings of yellow, and I'm saying my stream might be slow, but it says excellent connection on my YouTube, so YouTube's lying, or my vMix is lying. Joe's off tonight because he is still having that tooth issue, so we're hopefully get him to a dentist soon. I mean, the good news, not everybody here is following California, as you shouldn't all be following California, but we've not been hit too hard. So the governor of the state is going to be looking at lifting or most likely is going to be lifting a lot of the stay-at-home orders this coming tomorrow. In fact, I do some stuff for the cities, so we're doing. We usually tape a city weekly city message on Thursday morning, but we're not going to do it Thursday morning because we expect a lot of stuff is going to be coming down on Thursday. We're going to save it for Friday. How you doing, little buddy? You hanging out okay? He'll let me know when he wants to go. Right now, he seems pretty chill. So, yeah. What's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are all kind of staying safe and staying healthy and staying clean of all the new things. I just got... There's some frame drops. Yeah, it seems like the internet connection is... We're right there on the edge of it. So hopefully... Daniel asks if I've seen the Mandalorian making of, and I think I gotta do that. By the way, if you haven't started... I haven't had a drink since our martini show a couple weeks ago. Margarita. Gotta love it. So, I haven't checked that one out yet. I'll have to do that. But if you want, let's jump into the topic of the show, which is this show that I've been watching. It's called Upload, and I'm going to go ahead and play for you guys the trailer. We talk a little bit over it. It's an Amazon original trailer. Oh, wow. That aspect ratio is totally screwed up. So maybe you don't need to watch the trailer. Maybe we'll just talk through it. But basically, it's a show about an afterlife. What it is, I'm just gonna get rid of that because the aspect. I didn't check the aspect ratio. That looks terrible. But what it is there's this company called Horizon. In the future, 2033, when you die, you can get your head uploaded, your whole memories and everything you have uploaded into the cloud where you live. And then the premise of the show is this very young guy gets in a car accident, a self-driving car accident, which are not known to have accidents, and he dies, and then he has to put on his. They put him into this Horizon afterlife, and he lives on his girlfriend's account, and his girlfriend is she's from a rich family, kind of a socialite, and he's kind of done with her in the first place, but he's still hanging out with her for for the physical intimacy part. But he's kind of sick of her. But then he's dead, and now she has the power over him to basically to delete his butt off of the afterlife. And so there's a big mystery. The central conceit of the show is, was he murdered for knowing something? We don't know. We have to find out. And then he starts having a relationship with his angel, and his angel is kind of the concierge of this place that takes care of him. So there's a love story, there's a romance, there is a intrigue, and then on top of that, because it's from Greg Daniels, and Greg Daniels is the fantastic television producer. Hold on, you want to go down? He's starting to shiver like he wants to go down. Back down on the floor. We'll hang out for a little bit. So Greg Daniels, if you're not familiar with Greg Daniels, I'm not sure where he started, but he's worked on The Simpsons. He went over to work with Mike Judge on The King of the Hill. Then he worked on The Office, bringing that about, and then he brought about Parks and Recreation. So the guy is a legend as far as I'm concerned in the world of television. But what I like about his particular brand of humor is how smart he is. He's a Harvard graduate. I mean, the guy's very, very clever. He worked on Saturday Night Live too, which is where the show was conceived from. He's a very, very clever guy, and it reflects in the kind of science fiction that he creates. Because this show is the science fiction that I think is very well done. I'm not the hugest fan of Black Mirror. I like some episodes, as with all anthologies. Some episodes are better. He's planning on taking a jump down there. Can you make it there, buddy? He's going down. I like sci-fi. Hold on, he's doing it. There we go. Whoop, kind of dropped there. not a 10 landing there, but he made it. He's down over there. So what I like about this sci-fi is I don't like sci-fi that's very one-dimensional. I don't like sci-fi that's just, here are the evil people, and they're going to do evil things. Sci-fi. And a couple of shows that I kind of put in that category. Man on High Castle, I just got that vibe from. I don't know about Handmaid's Tale, but it feels a little like that. Like in the future we have this horrible, evil society. Whereas I prefer kind of sci-fi, and I might be wrong about those shows. I'm just kidding. That's my impression. I like the TV shows that have a feeling of, or I'd rather see the sci-fi that looks at the future instead of everybody being evil. I like the sci-fi as everybody is incompetent, because to me that is a much more obvious or much more accurate portrayal of the history of the world and the future. It's not so much people are immaculately or impossibly powerful and all-knowing. It's more that people are just lazy and dumb. And that's kind of why I love this show, because my phone's going crazy. The show, it's a reflection of the world where, it's these incredible, amazing things, and yet it's got that flavor of that idiocracy flavor, that Mike Judge flavor, where it's like brought to you by Doritos, L'Oreal. It's got that I'm trying to think of the word. The absurdity of basically an idiocracy without taking it all the way to an idiocracy level. It's the absurdity of kind of corporatism and materialism, adding on the technology. Like, if we could do this with technology, guess what would happen? We would have what they call a 2 gig plan, where you die and you do a pay as you go program, where if you pay like $1,000 a month and you get 2 gigs of afterlife existence, and once those 2 gigs are out, you're frozen for the rest of the month, and you got paid and get more and stuff like that. It's that to me is such clever use of technology. The show is just really cool for that. So I would definitely check out Upload. It's 10 episodes, goes by really quick. It's a very delightful comedy, and I highly recommend you guys check it out. And it's stars Robbie something. I gotta look this up because I don't know. As far as the cast is pretty good. IMDb.com. Let's just go there. We got the main character Robbie. I was talking to Joe about it, and it's the brother of Robbie Amell, and we're pulling this sucker up here. Hey, look, it's the trailer, but it's not. Whoops, that's not what I was looking for. I was gonna go to this one. It's the trailer, but it's in the right size. Greg Daniels created it. Robbie Amell as Nathan Brown, Andy Ilo as Nora, who's the love interest. And the cool thing about Andy, she looks like kind of a typical Verizon employee. You know, if you watch those ads on TV, the kind of diversity hire for the Verizon because the ads, she's great. But the cool thing you don't know about her is she was like the lead guitarist or one of the guitarists for Prince. So she's got some pretty cool background to her. So check that. Anyhow, Robbie Ella. The one thing I do want to call out on one actress I do want to call out is the girl that plays the rich snobby girlfriend, who plays it in such a high high octane level. She is, you just hate her. She is so good at just hating her. And the Space Force here is a show that I'm looking to check out. So anyhow, Conjuring. So anyhow, that is my take on Upload. It's a really cool show. I recommend you guys all check it out. So let's hit what the comments are saying here. Watched his Dark Materials mind-blowing show, not exactly sci-fi, but great. Cool. I'm not sure if that's Greg Daniels. I'll have to check it out. I noticed also Greg Daniels, they're talking a lot about how the show is very similar to The Good Place. And I watched the trailer for The Good Place. They're not similar. The Good Place seems to be about a heaven, and this show is about technology. Because they're not talking about heaven. They're talking about this technology. It leads to interesting moral questions like, it's not a spoiler, the main character Nora, she has a battle with her dad because her mom passed away and was not uploaded to the system, and she wants her dad to upload when he passes away because he's terminally ill with something, and he's like, I don't want to go to that afterlife. I want to go to the other heaven where your mom is. And then she's like, are you kidding me? It's delusional. There's no such thing as heaven. And that leads to a very big, interesting theological debate. That's just an interesting thought, if it could preserve this kind of heaven, but it would prevent even the possibility of a real heaven. Okay, how do you wrestle with that? And I'm not I'm not on the strong atheist side in that I'm going to say, well, there's no such thing as heaven, but I don't know. I'm more closer to agnostic, but I like hearing what real theologians think about this, and that would be an interesting thought. Is the uploaded person really the same consciousness or just a copy? And the way the show plays it is the same person, because and this is the first episode. When they do the scan procedure, it involves blowing up the head. So they're trying to get the impression that you are deleted from your meat self and put into this digital self. Although I did have an idea for a short film where it was like, if you wanted to upload yourself to the cloud, you essentially would make a copy of yourself, and then you would still be you as a meat space person, and then you would be you in the computer, so you could kind of talk to yourself in the computer, and that'd be kind of a cool idea. It's like, well, I thought I was going to get to live forever. Well, your conscious is, but your conscious is still here in this world, in this body. That doesn't go away. So I thought that'd be kind of interesting. I come up with ideas for short films that may not make good short films because I don't know how to dramatize that. So, on your next margarita, this. I'm not quite sure, but anyhow. Kubrick, please. Yeah, Kubrick, please. Are you kidding? Kubrick, please. I love Kubrick. I miss Kubrick. I haven't watched a Kubrick movie. I wanted to watch. I have not seen. I've seen like all but 3 of his movies. The ones I haven't seen is the very first one, which I can't remember, and then the one with the 17th century one, which I can't remember the name of off the top of my head. But those are the 2 I have not seen yet. So I'll probably be working on those eventually. But I think one of my favorites, obviously, Strangelove. But man, Red Badge of Courage, I haven't seen that in a while. I'd like to go back and visit that one again. So anyhow, so what's going on? You guys are hanging out here. Have any questions, any chat, any things you want to talk about? Or we can talk more about margaritas and drinking, because that's fun. Well, I'll tell you a little bit about what I'm doing right now. We are getting on board. We talked about this a few weeks ago about the virtual graduations, because it's come to the realization all the school districts in the area have realized that yes, we cannot have graduation as usual this year. It's just not in the cards. And the blowback, and I'll be frank about this, parents are pissed off. They're really pissed off. Truth of the matter is, though, if you're in a situation, you're in a leadership situation to make these decisions, there is no way. There is literally no way to go to actually have a graduation this year, because, be really honest, it's not necessarily the kids and it's not necessarily the parents, but the faculty of most of these schools are in the target range for the virus. So, God forbid someone, a principal okays a graduation and somebody gets sick. That's what they're thinking. Nobody wants to deal with that. And as long as the state is saying no gatherings above 30, 40 people, they don't want to chance it. And they're right. And maybe what we can do in the fall is some of these private organizations, like I know in our area some wineries are planning on having like makeup prom for seniors sometime in September. And if they want to come back, they come back. But the point is, we got to get these kids graduated, because we can't also saddle the next year with the students. So we are full steam ahead on virtual graduations, and I talked about this as filmmakers as an opportunity for you guys out there to go out there and do something good and for the community and help produce these shows. Now, I think Herf Jones and Jostens are big players in a lot of this. They're offering free-ish kind of virtual graduation programs. I don't know how they work. And on top of that, I don't think they're sending people out to do video for these schools. So even if a school is doing like Jostens, I think they're expecting the school to send a video in, and then they'll put it together. So there's work out there. I think there's work if people go out there and start asking for the school districts, hey, I want to help you guys with your virtual graduation, or I want to help you guys do some sort of thing for the seniors, something nice. It doesn't have to be graduation. Could just be a video or something. There's a lot of opportunity out there to, perhaps opportunity for paid work, and even for just volunteer work to go out there and get some community work, get your skills out there for the community. Meow Wang says, Kubrick reminds me, recently watched Dr. Sleep. I kind of enjoyed it, actually. I did too. I thought Dr. Sleep was fantastic because we were constantly embroiled in that stupid debate over our comic book movies destroying the world. And it's like, well, here's a movie that's a comic book movie, not a comic book movie. Here's a movie that did not do well because you guys all thought it was a Dr. Sleep Strange or something. I don't know. Marketing was a little weird for it, I guess. I thought it was a great little movie. It did exactly what it wanted to do. People that are complaining that it's a sequel to 2001, yeah, because Stephen King wrote it. Stephen King wanted to write a sequel to 2001, and they made a movie of that. So I don't blame the studios for making a sequel to 2001. I think it succeeded in what it wanted to do and being its own thing. So I think Dr. Sleep is one of those really missed opportunity movies. People didn't get people that would have enjoyed it. Didn't get a chance to see it. I think we might have talked about Dr. Sleep back in last October when it came out. But speaking of which, I mean, look at the situation with the movie theaters. It's bonkers. So I'll take a sip real quick. Now I want to talk a little bit about this. So people kind of got my throat. Well, one person got my throat. But most people, I think, understood my point. What's going on with Universal and AMC there? So Universal came out with the Trolls movie, Trolls 2, and I guess it did pretty well in VOD. Which I think if you got any bit of knowledge of the world, the way it is, being that everyone was in quarantine lockdown, it's been like 2 or 3 weeks, and no movie theaters were open. Do you think that a family-friendly movie would do well? Of course it would. Of course it would. I mean, there was no question that the Trolls 2 would have done well as a VOD product, because that's how the Olsen twins made $1 billion, right? I mean, family-friendly stuff when people are at home, stuck at home watching. That's how you make the big buckaroos. So Universal comes out and says, well, you know what? We like this. In fact, in the future, we might actually just run our movies this way. We'll put them on theaters and put them on VOD at the same time. Why not do that? And AMC's like, no, you're not. No, because if you do that, then we're going to lose our business because we don't have our window of exclusivity. And then Edward Theaters, Regal Entertainment came by and says, yeah, we kind of agree with AMC. You either play the rules or we don't put your movie in our theaters. And so that's the last I've heard of it. So now I have a different take on this. And John Doe says the movies are finished, in my opinion. I don't think they are. I think they need to adapt, because I'm selfish. I have that AMC A-lister pass, and man, I go to the movies so much because of that, and I drop money for popcorn, and I gave them some extra bucks for whatever. But I love the theater experience, and if I have that as a subscription, it makes it a no-brainer. I go see any movie if I have even the smallest amount of interest in it. I'll go see it in the theater. So let's talk about the situation. So the theaters have to have this exclusivity in order to make money. So regardless of what you personally think about the movie theater, if you just decided we're going to release on VOD and movie theater, then it necessarily requires that the movie theater attendance go down. How much is a good question. It's up for debate. But I think it would be silly to argue. I think it's out of the realm of possibility to even argue that somehow movie theater attendance would increase or even stay the same when people could just stay at home and watch the movie. I think that's so far out of the world of possibility. So this theater exclusivity for this 30-day window, or 60, or I think it's down to 30, 45-day window or something like that, is absolutely necessary for the theaters. That's their lifeblood. Now the movie studios, they don't care. They can make up that money doing VOD. They have no financial interest in the exclusivity of the theaters. So my thought is, maybe we overturn the Paramount decrees in 1945 and let the studios own the theaters again. I mean, we maintain all of the block booking, the anti-competitive stuff. We still say that Disney can't prevent other movie theaters from, or can't force other theaters to buy a block of films from them. But what if we let the studios have a taste of the theater action? Because then it would give them a financial reason to maintain the theaters. And they can make more money if they own the theaters. Heck, they make all the money, right? They don't have to share the profits. And then maybe that might be a way to preserve the theaters going forward. And the situation is different from 1945. Like 1945, what did you have as far as entertainment goes? You had radio, and you had movies, and you had stage vaudeville, right? Nowadays, you get movie theater is like a small part of that equation. I don't know. I'm not saying I'm not saying I'm not saying I'm 100% for it. I'm just saying it's worth thinking about. It's worth like saying, maybe we should let the movie theater studios own the theaters again. Other countries let movie studios own their theaters, so I know Paramount owns like a bunch of theaters in South America. So maybe it might be a way to get them and have financial interest again in theaters. And of course, everybody. The problem about also this debate or this discussion is every time I bring it up, somebody comes in and says, I hate movie theaters. I hate the place. You're an idiot if you go to the movie theater. I can't stand it. Only young people go. That's the weirdest thing is I have some guy that I really admire, and he made the claim that no one over 24 goes to the movie theaters. And it's like, I respect the guy. He's a good science. He does a lot of science for filmmakers, but that is the most asinine thing I've ever heard. No one over 24 goes to the movie theaters. I googled the NATO report. 75% of the audiences in a movie theater are over 24. So it's a ridiculous statement. So I've skipped a lot of chat. I'm sure it pissed all of you guys off. Let's see what you guys have to say. Meow Wang says I watched The Ship of Theseus, an indie movie. Rated HD on YouTube. Really interesting movie. So Ship of Theseus. We'll have to check that one out. I built a cheap home theater room, but still can't beat the actual theater experience. That's the thing. Like you can. I mean, look, I'm cheap as hell, so I don't even have my TV out there that I watch most of my movies on is from 2005. I bought it top of the line, so it's still good as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, it's not 4K, but I don't have that great of a sound system anyways. I go to the theater if I want that kind of experience. And then it's also part of the activity of getting out of the house. Something that we in the last few weeks have been missing sorely. Just to get out of the freaking house to go to the movie theater and see a movie. That's part of the attraction of going to the movies. Anyhow. Will people pay triple the price because they have to space seats out? I don't know. The thing with my theaters, at least, the seating is pretty far apart. So at least you're not 6 feet from the next person, but you're not on top of the person. So the new modern like theaters with their seats, I don't feel uncomfortable with somebody sitting next to me in that, not like the old days. Hello from Canada, says Craig. Hello, Canada. I like to think with these disputes between movie theaters and studios that they try to stop making movies live or die by opening weekend. Bad theater experience and movie quality seems to go down. That's a good point. Another point I want to bring up too is we learned from the President's Art of the Deal a lot lately in the last 4 years, but like the first move is usually posturing. So it's AMC saying we're not going to do this, and it's Universal like we're going to do this. It's posturing. They're going to go to the table and they're going to hash something out. And maybe Universal says, okay, we're going to do VOD. And those movies we're not going to show in the theater. We're not going to try to show in the theater. They're going to come to the table and negotiate. But the news doesn't understand how business works. The news doesn't know how anything works. Don't ever listen to the news. Go to the source. I tell people, don't listen to the damn news. Left, right, they're all wrong. They all don't know what the hell they're talking about. Go to the source, try to find out what the real information is. Anyhow, that's my political moment. Let's see. I think the indie scene will completely move streaming process. For me, I never go to theater, which I can afford really good home theater with true atmos and a huge screen projector. I'd never go to theater when I can't afford a really good home theater. I disagree in that because I've been in quarantine and I want to go out. I just want to go. And look, like another thing with movies too, and like, I mean, I'm not particularly lucky as far as love is concerned, but dinner and a movie is a very, very not particularly dangerous way to spend a date. And dinner movie at your house is a little creepier sounding, a little more off-putting to the lady, perhaps. Hey, how about come back to my house and we'll watch a movie? Wink. Whereas let's go to the movie theater and watch a movie there. It's a little different. I had another point on that I wanted to bring up. Let's see. Oh, the indies. I don't know how to feel about the indie movement, man, because the fact of the matter is I don't watch indie productions because so few interest me. I don't, I think a lot of people, a lot of filmmakers are under an incorrect under assumption that digital is helping the indie filmmaker. Digital is not helping the indie filmmaker. Digital's killing the indie filmmakers. Because there's just too many damn indie films. We're never going to go back to the 1990s where we had, Tarantino and Kevin Smith breaking out like crazy. You had Favreau, and these amazing indie people that were getting mainstream attention for the indie films. And all of that, of course, was good old Weinstein there, pulling the strings and buggering ladies. But we're never going to get back to that. And I feel like if you put your dreams in the indie film scene, it's poverty, man. It's literally worse than poverty. It's bad. As like a film educator, I hate saying that because what choice do you have? You have to get if you want to make money or survive, you have to get some really some notoriety, some famous people, and some backing. I mean, I think there's room for more. There's room for more voices like Upload. I mean, that's Greg Daniels. Greg Daniels has been around forever, but I mean, there's more voice. He has a host of directors that work there. So and that show. It wouldn't have been on any. There's lots of nudity and cursing, so it wouldn't have been any broadcast channel. So I don't know. I don't put your stock in the indie film. Indie film is. I'm not too hot on it. I'm just worried about where we think about that. Anyhow, let's see. I can't understand why anyone would enjoy a movie like Inception, M.I., Alita Battle Angel on a tab. I haven't even seen Alita Battle Angel yet. I gotta watch that. Yeah, I mean, I can watch a TV show. I'm watching a lot of Community. I watch it on my tablet, and that's you get your enjoyment out of that. That's fine. Yeah, when I currently collect and watch movies on my computer, I have second channels, two channel studio monitor setup and Dolby Atmos for headphones. Spatial sound makes a huge difference. But then you're wearing headphones. I mean, I don't like wearing headphones. Last year, I caught a midnight screening of Alien on the big screen. I've seen it many times at home, but the theater is a whole different experience. Absolutely right, Greg Costa. I think we talked about it watching Blade Runner on the movie theater. I know Red Letter Media makes fun of. There's a scene in Blade Runner where Harrison Ford just says, "Sector E3, enhance, punch in, enhance," and it's like 5 minutes, right? And on a small screen, it's boring as ass. But in a movie theater, like when you listen to that scene and you hear like the rain outside, and you feel the air conditioning on your face, and that slow movement of the camera, and you're like, what the hell is he looking at? He's looking at something. Come on, I want to see what he's looking at. And the scene is oh man, it's so dramatic in the movie theater, and at home it sucks. So yeah, movie theater I think has a point. Dinner and a movie with someone I'm already dating. Sure. I mean, I think I would. I don't think a dinner and movies makes a great first date because I'm more of a conversationalist. I like to talk to the lady during the day, first date. But after you get to know each other, yeah, dinner movie. Chris Hoffman, the question you're raising is one that's been out there for a while. How do we make the cinema film going experience compelling enough to get people off their couches and into the theaters? And yeah, absolutely. What the AMC is doing in my area is putting nicer seats in there, more spaced out, recliners that you can fall asleep so easily in. I mean, I've got my CPAP machine like last week, so I don't feel sleepy anymore during the day. But I bet you I could stay awake this time through a movie. But yeah, how do we get people back in the theaters? Well, partly is maybe get the experience better seats. Maybe I don't know. It'd be nice if maybe we don't let babies into R-rated movies. That'd be a good start too. Let's do that. Allowing studios to own theaters makes sense, but would studio stockholders be interested in no profit liability like owning theaters? I think they would be. I think And you might have to end up doing where it's like a movie maybe only opens up in your city and it's in the studio's own theater. I mean, is that such a bad thing these days? Because if a movie, if Disney released, Mulan and their Disney-owned theater, and you had to go to the Disney theater to see it for the first, 2 weeks, would that be that bad? I mean, are you really? I don't know. I'm open to it. I'm not saying yes necessarily or no, but I also, a lot of things with copyright is just because you don't have access doesn't mean it's wrong, And then Disney, here's the thing with Disney, they want to make money. Like Disney does not want to hide and hold stuff. They want to make money, so they'll show it in their own theaters for 2 weeks, and after that they'll release it wide. I don't know. That might make sense. But then the other question is, will the other studios like, hey, you already showed it in your theater for 2 weeks, we're not taking it. So there's that pushback on that. So maybe if any theater that did that may not be able to get other theaters to buy the movie after they were done with it. I really enjoy when I have to turn my head to see the edge of the screen. I love a collective audience reaction, key moments. Love rolling out of the house and blocking out movie time. Yeah, certain exposures, I agree. And then comedies. Like going to a comedy and hearing people laugh, that it helps make the movie more fun. Everyone has their cup of tea, though. For me, no theaters would be like no more live sports, no more live concert. Who knows? Could be the future. I don't think it's the future. I think people still want that. I think people, once we get over the virus fears, it'll be all good. I think we'll come back to it. Atmos for headphones works with speakers too. It just makes a big difference, though. I don't know enough about Atmos. Hey, Donnie Pearson John, happy Revenge of the Sixth Day. Nice. More on that is a Google search away. The last movie I saw in cinema was on Earth was 20th Century Studios' The Call of the Wild. All right. So write down what you thought about that movie, because in the CGI dog, if it was hard to watch or what your thoughts on. John Doe, if the theater experience is worthwhile, then there's no need for a release window. Not necessarily, because the theater would be the extra. I think the release window gives it a panache. I have to think a little bit about that, because you do bring up an interesting point. I think the theater is worthwhile, but the theater plus the release window gives it the cash that they need to utilize. So we're talking about taking away something that they've had and they've built their business on. So that's the way to look at it. Still, I think you're right. It still has worthwhile because, people do show up for old movies. The Quentin Tarantino's New Beverly Theater in Hollywood there. People can watch those movies on VHS, on DVD or Blu-ray. They don't need to go to the theater and see it, although they show film there, that kind of thing. But you're right. You're not wrong. But the theaters have that business model already built in with the release window. Charles Hoffman says the advantage of owning a theater is that minus overhead, you get to keep everything your movie makes versus 50-50 split. Exactly. So, it also gives then, if they have that, that ownership, it gives them a reason to improve the movie theater experience. And I think and Disney owns the Pantages, and they show movies there. I'm not quite sure how. I don't know how they work with it with Pantages. Maybe it's like a exception for, it's not really a movie house, it's a theater house they occasionally show movies in. So I don't know. Babies, I can let that. Haha, babies in theaters. I once saw a parent bring their small child to two cubs to view Jackass 3D. Yeah, I know. It's like when you bring a stroller into a movie that's like really, really R-rated. It's like, come on. I get it, but I get you want to take some time out and get out of the house with your Rugrats, but don't go to a movie or take them to the G-rated movie. And that's the other thing too. Do you ever get that? Like, I want to go see the Pixar movie, but whenever I go see a Pixar movie, I feel like a pedophile if I go there by myself, because it's like all the other people there are like under 5, and they're all screaming and yelling and eating Skittles, and I'm just sitting there like, I want to see this damn animated movie because it looked good. I'm not here to be around you kids I have my adult reasons I want to see this movie, but I'm here by myself watching this movie. Anyhow, that's how I feel when I go to a Pixar movie. And then you're bombarded with the trailer. The trailers, man, for an animated movie. It's like every trailer, they just assume you're 5 years old. So like every trailer, like, in a world where trolls run... You're like, I don't care. I came here to see Pixar's latest movie. I don't need to be sold like Kung Fu Panda 17. I'm sure Kung Fu Panda has his own fan base. I just shit on everybody. But anyhow, I find the remake as awesome as the one from 1935. Is that the Call of the Wild? Cool. All right, I might have to check that out then. I know people were kind of giving it a bad role for the inclusion of the Mr. CGI doggy, but I'll give it a go. I think people and companies have to be more open-minded. Theaters, streaming platforms, rent everything you can. I don't think exact same time makes sense though, because that necessarily requires the theaters to lose business. There is no plausible explanation. There's no plausible scenario in which the movie theaters don't lose money when you get rid of that release window. There's no plausible scenario. I defy that. I'm calling you out. I'm calling you out on the table there. Basically the theaters lose money is what you're saying. And I don't think theaters are okay with that. Just a guess. Don't think that they're okay with that. There was a baby crying and Drag Me to Hell. I'm glad it was on the way to the other side of the theater. That sucks about that, you know. Yeah, come on, Drag Me to Hell. I'll take my baby to see Drag Me to Hell. I get it. You can't find a babysitter and you want to get out of the house. I don't have kids. What am I going to do? I can't complain. You're stuck with kids for, you have kids 3 years, man. You get a babysitter or you just watch them. Sucks. You chose that. That's the way I feel. Was that the old How I Met Your Mother where he's holding the glass? All right. Charles Hoffman writes, if you're going to get stares anyway, just lean into it. Wear a hat and raincoat with collar pulled up. Look around furtively and sweat a lot. Who says I don't already do that? Just kidding. I don't sweat that much. A little bit. Yeah, at the theater when you're watching a kids movie. Because no adult has any reason to go see a kids movie, right? Especially not by yourself. I go to the movies by myself all the time. Like people say, get out weird on social media and say, I can't imagine going to the movies by myself. I think, why not? Of all places to be by yourself, a movie theater makes the least difference because it's a dark room. Nobody can see you. It's not like, like going to a restaurant by yourself, and I've done it. It's a little weirder. Like, people give you looks. They say, well, sir, do you want to eat at the bar so you don't feel totally alone, you fucking loser? I've done that. Like, I've been to Vegas by myself, and it's fun. Oh, my Google's pissed off at me now because I said a curse word. I don't understand. See, the overlords are listening. But yeah, I've been to Vegas by myself. I've done it. I've done that, and I had a hell of a time too. What can I say? I'm a loner, right? But yeah, there was always for one, please, and they're like, "Would you like to sit at the bar, you incredible, pathetic loser? Please, go to the bar where you won't feel so utterly alone and pointless, you piece of shit." That's how I feel every time I go to the restaurant by myself. But you go to movies by yourself, it's your own popcorn. You don't need to share with anybody. You can, you don't have to worry about somebody arm wrestling you. It's just you at the theater. Lights go down. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what you do at the movie theater when lights. Well, don't do that. But do the thing. Okay, that's enough. Terrible, terrible jokes. I watched Sonic the Hedgehog movie on Wednesday, and I tried to avoid that and failed. I'm not sure what you're referencing, but Sonic was pretty good, I thought. It's a pretty decent movie. It's a very throwback movie. Man, made me remind me of the 90s. Really did. Yeah, some people are a total pain to go to the movies with anyway. Tell me about it. It's like some people like, and it's like, some people are just hard to even plan around, you know? It's like, hey, let's go to the movies. But you know, they might decide to cancel at the very last minute, or they don't really want to go, you know? So it's weird. That's why I go to the movies by myself. And then I'd explain to people that, hey, I'm going to go see Call of the Wild. Hey, I have no interest in seeing that. That's cool. I'm not worried about what you're interested in. I'm interested in seeing it. I'm going to go see it. And I'm going to see it, and I'll tell you about it later. And you can live vicariously through me as I tell you whether I hated it or loved it. That's the way it is. That's the way it should be. This is an extra strong margarita. So, yeah, certain exposure. I like Sonic too. I enjoyed the movie. I'm glad that they did rework the animation, because it needed to be more cartoony. It couldn't have maintained that photorealism look for too long. Ooh, cold. So that's what's going on with the movie theaters. Although it doesn't matter, because it's not nothing's happening. Okay, you're going to get on my soapbox, me on Wang. I'm waiting for Charlie Kaufman's new movies. He doesn't get to make any more movies because Synecdoche, New York sucked. I said it. It sucked. It was so terrible. Such a disaster that I don't think anybody would give him any kind of money. He may make small movies and get out there, but Synecdoche, New York, I went to that movie. I reviewed that movie for Filmmaker IQ, and I didn't know how it was pronounced. So I was at L.A. I was in L.A., Fufu, L.A. at the ArcLight Theater on Hollywood Boulevard, and I said, "One for Synecdoche, New York," and the teller's like, "Okay, here's your ticket." I get in there, watch the movie, Synecdoche, New York. Synecdoche, like, oh fuck. I embarrassed the crap out of myself. But I enjoyed the very first third of the movie. But man, the movie just it went downhill so fast to me. It was just like, wow, really? It became so in love with its own farts that it turned me so off. Like, I loved Charlie Kaufman's movie before. I liked the adaptation. I liked Sunshine on the Spotless Mind. I think that was he wrote that. But oh man, that was such for a first time director. That's the one thing you can't do in Hollywood. If you're a first time director, you can make a modest hit, you can make a a big hit, or you can make a modest hit. Do not make a fucking turd, and that will destroy anybody. We were talking last week about, or a couple weeks about, Return to Oz. And how Walter Murch, who is a legend today, his one and only feature, because it was such a disaster that they never let him direct again. That's my thoughts. So now he says he's making two movies: Chaos Walking and I'm Thinking About Ending Things. Well, like I said, he's gonna make small stuff, but I don't think they're ever gonna let him make a big movie again. It's gonna be like small, like Fox Searchlight stuff. Where he belongs, why not? Keep him there until he learns his lesson how to make a movie. But no, I'm sorry, I just hated that Synecdoche. I hated Synecdoche, New York, because it took what I thought was a great start and just gave me the fingers. Like, you are not smart enough to get this movie. And then it's like, okay, fine. Hero says, I thought it was well received. It might have been in the theater critics circle, but it was bombed. I'm like, it bombed. Nobody paid to see it. I'm sure like Roger Ebert and somebody like that gave it like a big thumbs up, which is why I was like, yeah, I want to see this movie. I mean, you could tell. There's a moment in the movie where the movie turns, and it's when Philip Seymour Hoffman is looking in a toilet at his own shit. That's the movie. That's how the movie is explained. Chaos Walking stars Tom Holland and Daisy Ridley. That's cool. Again, Those guys have Tom Holland and Daisy Ridley have so much money that they can work on whatever they want. So that's how you get those kind of stars. Is they just want to work on something challenging. Margarita mix. No, I mean I don't think Kaufman. I mean I don't harbor ill will, but on Kaufman, I'm sure. And again, St. Anthony, New York is more than a decade ago, so maybe he's learned his lesson. I've not been following it, but the truth is, don't make a bomb on your first way out. Make a medium-sized hit. Even if it loses a little bit of money, that's okay. Studios expect that. They don't expect you to win everything, but make a bomb. Ugh. Synecdoche wasn't as bad. No, it was Phil Seymour Hoffman looking in the toilet at his own shit. That's the movie. Barrow, that poor movie has been finished for like 3 years now. You know what? Another movie that's kind of weird is that one Gilliam movie, the Don Quixote movie that was made like a year and a half ago or something like that, and it wasn't released or something happened. It has Kylo Ren in it, and has the guy John the guy that was in The Good Pope, not The Good Pope, Two Popes, Jonathan Pryce as Don Quixote, and Sancho Panches is Kylo Ren. I can't remember Kylo Ren's real name. I like to in the old days we used to play on Facebook. We used to put pictures of people and then put the wrong names on them, but people thought we were making we were fucking with them. We weren't. Well, we would put like we'd find an actor that played a role that another actor had played. So like easy example is Batman. We put a picture of Chris. Shoot, I can't. George Clooney. We put a picture of George Clooney and we write Adam West. So I have a habit of doing that now. So I'll say like Kylo Ren instead of his real name, which I can't remember. Videodome. Okay, now we're talking. I rewatched Videodome alone for free in Vancouver before the movie. They projected a short film called Frank's Cock. Yeah, I'll buy that. Man, that's another thing I miss, man. It's like so the other night I was watching. I think we talked about watching Return to Oz, and I'm thinking like this is horrible. I ended up watching Rocky Horror Picture Show right after that, just so I could reset my bearings as far as what a good campy show is like. And yeah, man, Rocky Horror has hits and misses, but I miss going to the theater and watching that kind of movie. Just the craziness. Matt Kusta, do you mean Matt the radar technician? Oh, during the production, the film got broken. Videodome was awesome, but I needed to pee so bad that I threw my popcorn everywhere and went directly on the toilet. That's a lot of information to give out on chat. I'm proud of you. We've come a long way. We've built this rapport. I'm glad you could share that. No, I'm just joking with you. But yeah. So that's what's going on. I need another sip of my margarita. We can figure out what else to talk about. Yeah, so basically it's work. Oh, so I am still working on the Fox video. That is going on. John Doe, without theaters, movies might change. I don't think theaters are going to go anywhere. I think that's just way too ingrained in our society for now. Might change, but I think for now they're still here. So I did get if you guys have advice on this, I'm working on a laptop at home, and I'm feeling some limitations on it. The GPU is a Quadro M1000. It's about, I would say, 4 or 5 years old. So not the brand newest thing in the world. So what I did was I got an eGPU, one of these boxes, and I put an NVIDIA GeForce 2070 in there, thunderbolted into the laptop, and I just plugged it in right before we went on air today, and I was just playing around with it, and there seems to be some improvements in as far as response time and as far as the computer is concerned, although I'm not quite sure. when I look at my GPU settings, it's still saying that the bulk of the work is being done by the Intel chipset that's on here, not the. In fact, the laptop's own video card is at 0% most of the time. It's really the Intel chip that's doing a lot of the heavy lifting. So I'm wondering if you guys have any tips on what you can do, because I mean, I've literally only spent like 5 minutes playing with this. But what we can do to kind of tell the computer, hey, use the 2070. That's why I got it. So that's one of my plans for tonight, at least, is to work on that. Yeah, so I was working on that Fox video, and the project got to a crawl because the computer there's too much data on there, too many graphics, too many slides. I might end up actually breaking that After Effects project into 2 parts, and then work on the second part because it's getting so heavy. I mean, I don't know, but I was thinking that was probably due to my GPU. So I got a new faster GPU, figuring maybe that would help everything. Adobe has shit poor resource utilization. Maybe, but I ain't going anywhere else but Adobe. So I'm sticking on Adobe. I'm not sure what exactly it is what it's utilizing though, because I'm not sure if it's utilizing. Like I said, it's utilizing the Intel graphic chip processor I imagine for doing displaying the laptop's monitor. But maybe there's a way I can just disable that Intel. I don't know. I have to look into it. So, yeah. I'm just not to pick on you, man. But like, I got my setup to say that Adobe has shit poor resource. It's like fuck off, whatever. That doesn't add anything. Who gives a shit what you think? So yeah, not helpful. But if you have a helpful thing to say, I'd like to hear them. So that's what I am working on, and we'll see how that goes. I mean, right now, I feel like I'm getting a little bit better performance right now in this video streaming here, because I am doing double duty with my laptop and this monitor. But we will see. Oh, let's see. Anything else you guys want to hang out about? Questions? Do you want to chat? I can finish off my margarita. Chad Hoffman says, Linus Sebastian. Ice on my teeth is cold. Linus Sebastian of Linus Tech Tips did a whole video on why he's still in the Adobe ecosystem. I'll tell you why I'm in the Adobe ecosystem. Because it works. That's why. Like, look, I've been doing this for 20 years now. And it works. And I've developed these techniques and tools to do things a certain way. And I don't really give a crap about the DaVinci Resolve. I find DaVinci Resolve to be kind of annoying to use sometimes. I can't figure out half the time what things are, and that's because I don't know the program that well. I don't need to go searching for different tools. The point of what I do is to tell stories, is to make product of whatever kind. Whether I use a Canon camera or a Nikon camera or a Sony camera or a Panasonic camera makes zero difference to me because in the end, I just want to make my story, right? So whether I'm doing a DaVinci Resolve or whether I'm doing an Adobe After Effects or Adobe Premiere, it's whatever it takes, whatever is the least amount of steps from getting from the start to the finish, right? That's why I don't chase camera gear. I don't give a crap about camera gear unless it can make my job easier. And I am always on the lookout for ways to make my job easier. Totally. My phone's going crazy. I'm always on the lookout to make my job easier. In fact, I will spend more time looking at how to make my job easier than doing the job that I could just do. And don't you hate that? Like, I know I could do this in After Effects with a super keystroke or a super technique, a plugin, or I could spend the 15 minutes and actually just do it manually, but I'll spend 25 minutes looking up how to do it the fast way. Yeah, I know. I'm like that. Charles Hoffman, do you ever involve people in your workflow? Someone else editing? Do your customers expect Adobe formatted deliverables? No, but I do involve other people in my workflow, and we do work like that. Adobe can work with XML, so we can just kind of send XMLs if they're on Final Cut or something like that. But a lot of people I work with actually all work on Adobe, so we're all in the same ecosystem. Meow says, I'm used to Adobe because I need AI, PS, LR, so I just can't leave Adobe. And Premiere annoys the shit out of me, and sometimes I still love it. It's like your teenage kid. In the same way. That's why I use PS more than probably I use Premiere. if you're being totally honest, I've spent more time in Photoshop than I do in Premiere. I hate to say it, but I don't really use Premiere that much. I mean, I try to do a little more, but a lot of my editing ends up being a lot of my time spent editing is spent in After Effects. That's where most of my work starts and ends. And then, you go back. I know when I was doing those lesson videos, those are all one long take. I just use Premiere to figure out what take I want to use, and then I go into After Effects to animate it all. And I use Premiere basically as a way to do the audio. So it is what it is. I really just hate the whole oh, you gotta move to DaVinci Resolve, man, it's so awesome. Whatever. Go suck an egg. Who cares? Oh, but Adobe's charging you for software every month. I make money on this software, so and the thing is, I was the guy every year at NAB. Adobe just announced a new version. Do I get it? Oh, I don't know if I'm going to get it. Maybe I'll just wait on it. And then what will happen? I eventually buy it. And if you look at the math, at every single freaking time, every time I bought the newest version. And you look at it, yeah, subscription model makes more sense. It just does. Rather than buying every new damn version of it. So that's the way. I'm pro subscription on that case. I am. Sorry. That's just the way it is. Anyhow, well, it is coming up to 7 p.m. now. Though chat's not so lively tonight. I think we'll just bring it to a close. We'll probably come back next week. Next week I might be in my office. We'll see how it goes with the shutdown here. Right now, what happens in the county is the state is very the news is that our governor's gonna do something tomorrow. He's gonna open up some things, and so I think we might be we're coming out of it, obviously. So I'll probably be going back to the office next week, and at least I can have a little bit better internet connection and be back on my set. On my set was dressed up for the Fox video. So anyhow. Well, that's our last word. I still want to check out what's it called? The movie with curbside pickup clothing. That's how it works. Yeah, open curbside pickup for clothing. How does that work? You buy online, you pick it up in the store. I think what they'll do is curbside stuff, but I think they're gonna let some people in the store. I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out tomorrow. Alright, guys. So thanks for hanging out for me. And we shall see you guys, I think, next week. Put the music up. And we shall see ya. Take care now.